Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review.
You are going to like what you see under that paper.
And we are one episode away from 200. Alright, not bad. Not bad.
Okay. And number one, let me do the honors.
Nah, whatever.
Yeah.
And before we get into the comic books this week, just a little bit of a update on what we are planning for 200. When I got to 100, the big announcements were, well, Mike started reviewing comics, and I reviewed a little bit of everything, and we had little videos here and there from the celebration. Reviewing one thing from everything in the same day is a little bit overwhelming. So I think this time around we're going to look over reviewing something from everything, especially mangas because they're so long. Instead of doing that this time, what I'm planning to do is a more celebratory. We're going to have the celebration, and I'm sure there will be stuff recorded. We'll have the 200 comic review because that's the main part of the whole 200 comic review celebration.
200. 200 is 200, yeah.
There might be a live show. There might be a few other things planned out. I'll update you guys as we go, or just on the weekend of the 200 comic review. Stick around. There are a few funny things we have planned, a few videos we have planned. So there's a lot of stuff we're planning out, but I'm not going into different, like, in-depth reviews of certain other things because that's a wee bit too much, and it was overwhelming during my 100th comic review. And I'm sorry if I'm doing this a lot. I got this weird paper cut and it's right between my finger, and it really hurts. But anyway. So we're planning a lot of things. However, one thing I can say is at the end of 200, it's either going to be at the actual end of the video of 200 or its own separate video or a combination of the two. There are some updates and announcements I will have once again every 100th episode, even though this is only the second time. Big things happen, as always. So, nothing major like what happened like when Mike joined after 100 and stuff like that, but there are a few announcements, a few changes, and there are updates on the Dark Avenger website and stuff like that. But as I said once again, this is all for the update, or the the update video that I will be giving you guys, or the announcement video, whatever I decide to call it, in 200 or after 200, depending on how we do it, or maybe, like I said, both. And with that, now let's get into the books this week. We are talking about books that were released the second to last week of August, August 21st, 2013. Next week for 200, we deal with the last week of August, and then we go into Villains Month, which I'm looking forward to. So, Mike, your book is at the start.
Okay, and that it is. Archie Comics of Pirate Plunder Panic Part 1 of 4 of Sonic Universe, issue number 55.
Was Sonic even in this issue?
Actually, he wasn't.
Yeah, I read it. I looked through it. I wasn't interested, really.
Well, when I did my in-depth comic review on Dark Avenger Inc., like, I thought it was pretty good. Just talks about Blaze the Cat, who's on the pirate adventures with Captain Marine the Raccoon, Amy Rose, Cream and Cheese, and all other stuff. Basically talks about Blaze's objective.
I want some cream cheese.
Basically, Blaze talks about her objective to get the last Soul Emerald on the other pirate ship. Artwork is classic, actually, I have to say that. Bean makes an appearance when she gets to the other pirate ship while they're shooting each other back and forth. And there's just lots of dialogue and lots of this Captain Metal. Yeah. And like I said, there's this Captain Metal, and she actually surrenders herself to save her friends from getting blown up, which they did, even though she did show herself. And in come in Captain Metal, who really looks like Metal Sonic.
Probably is Metal Sonic.
Because, you know, the eye.
It probably is Metal Sonic. That's what I'm guessing. It looks like Metal Sonic.
You said it wasn't Metal Sonic.
I said probably.
Oh, probably. But it was very adventurous. I mean, I didn't really expect a Sonic comic to be very piratey and stuff like that, but I recommend all of you to get it, for those of you Sonic fans out there. But there's no Sonic. It's just Blaze and who you see on the cover, except minus Sonic.
Well, maybe we'll see Sonic in a future issue.
Oh yeah, there will be probably. So, yeah.
Micro series for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, it's continuing the Villains micro series. Issue 5, Villains, Karai. And it's all about her origin, and it continues the actual story. See, that's why I love these micro series. Do you have to get it to read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Absolutely not. You could skip the entire Villains micro series, and it does not impact, it doesn't take away from the actual ongoing series. It's a good added on miniseries that gives you extra stuff and extra background on the story you're reading now. And as I said, in the last issue, we found out that Leonardo was converted thanks to Kitsune, and you get to see a fight between Kaori and Leonardo. She wants to prove that he is not good as the first in command, that she should be the Chojin. I hope I'm saying it right. Chunin.
Yeah, Chunin.
And they fight, and in the end, Leonardo just is better than Kaori. But it turns out Kaori has her own little plan that she has to prove to her grandfather exactly why she should be his first in command, his Chonin. And like I said, you get the background story on Kaori, how Shredder first came to her, or Rokusaki, how they're focusing more on his regular name than the fact that he is the Shredder. Focuses on her growing up, how she takes control of the Foot Clan, and the sacrifices and that she's made to rise up in the ranks and to take control of the Foot Clan. So it's a really good issue, and once again, if you're looking for villain and character backgrounds, this series for the villains is perfect. I believe the next issue is a character that we have not been introduced to yet, at least I believe, Hun. Which, for those of you, Hun is part of the Foot Clan also. For those of you that followed the...
Just a strange name.
The series, you know who this character is, but for those of you that don't, you'll get more of an introduction in the next Villain Spotlight, which I'm sure also is going to connect to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 25 and 26. This is connected to 25. It says actually to be continued in issue 25. So, I believe the full-on Villains micro-series ends with Shredder in November, because Bebop and Rocksteady are after Hun, and then after them is Shredder, so...
yeah.
Looking forward to the next issue. Really enjoying this micro series. And now we are in Marvel Comics, because I don't have that many Marvel Comics. And to be honest, Marvel felt very average this week as far as books. Nothing that really jumped out and made you go, oh my god, that's awesome. Although maybe...
Well, maybe there was one... Well, that was my comic that I did.
Yeah, yours, but now I'm thinking of yours. Yeah, there was one book that was pretty good, but nothing like, wow. Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates, issue 29, the continuation of Ultimates Disassemble. And we find out by the end of this issue who Kang is. I'm not going to spoil who it is in this issue. I will in 2 weeks when we get to the next issue. However, I will say this, it is not Wanda. And when Pietro, Quicksilver, finds out, he fights back against Kang a bit and ends up, spoiler alert here, dying. Tony Stark is dead, but his brainwaves were transferred into his machines, and now he is 100% fully Iron Man. The Avengers, both the Ultimates and the New Ultimates, finally get the one-up on Reed Richards. However, Reed still has Kang. Kang reveals who... Well, you guys know Kang is a she, so I will say who she is. And just when you think the Avengers kind of finally won, you know, and Iron Man, you know, checkmated Reed Richards, enters Kang, and it turns out the plan is here. I'll give you a spoiler alert in 3, 2, 1. The spoiler alert for this book is Kang wants the Infinity Gems for the Infinity Gauntlet so she can go back in time and erase mutants from ever existing, basically causing a massive genocide, but not killing the mutants, just taking away their abilities, which would then have erased Ultimatum from ever happening, but it would erase the X-Men and all mutants on Earth. So, basically to save the lives of millions of people due to what happened in Ultimatum, Kang wants to erase the entire mutant race. And, yeah. Pietro knows that, and that's why he actually goes up against Kang at first. Till ultimately she kills him. There is a lot of dialogue in this book, and a lot of Pietro talking to Wanda, who apparently is dead. I believe she died in Ultimatum, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure, but she is dead. And he is dying over her grave, and you find out at the end of the issue how he's dying, why he's dying, etc. Classic Pendulum issue. I believe there's 1 or 2 more issues to go before this series ends. It is the last story arc of the Ultimates. If the Ultimate Universe survives Cataclysm, I'm sure we'll get a new Ultimate series. If it doesn't, then, well, good luck to the Ultimate Universe in its annihilation, and whoever makes it to the 616, hooray.
Exactly.
Next, Nova, issue number 7. This was more of a filler issue to me than anything else. Nova arrives in New York, and first he bumps into Spider-Man, and he wants to help out. And Spider-Man's like, New York has way too many superheroes anyway. You need to go look somewhere else. And when Spider-Man finds out that Nova's 15, he's like, I wasted 5 minutes, 300 seconds of my life on a child, and he swings off. And
that's just like, wow.
So basically this entire issue is Nova trying to find something to do, superhero, you know, some superheroing. And his helmet keeps showing him everything's clear, you know, whenever there's a problem, there's an Avenger like Captain America or somebody taking care of it already. So he's really not needed. And in the end he ends up taking up a minor job, which really isn't even superheroing. And it all leads into the next issue, which is the crossover with Infinity. It was a very light, fillerish issue. Basically, Nova just wants something to do as a superhero, and he doesn't find anything to do, so he takes up the second best thing. So, I feel bad for Nova in this issue. He wanted to be a superhero, he wanted to go out and save the day, but everybody had everything under control, and they didn't need Nova. Maybe he should try going out into space, which is what most Novas do.
Now wait, the Spider-Man he met with, that's Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
Oh, it is?
He even said Spider-Man's a dick. Well, of course, Dick was,
Doc Ock.
you know, shaded him, but yeah. It was okay. Spider-Man was only in like 3 or 4 pages, so I don't think it really works with the cover, and I do not like the Superior Nova title because I don't like the new Spider-Man. Doc Ock Spidey is just not working for me. But beside the point, it was a good issue. I enjoyed it. Felt more like a filler or a lead into, or a prequel, so to speak, for Infinity, the tie-in with Nova and Infinity. So, it was an okay issue. Next, we have the Superior Spider-Man, issue number 16.
Superior Spider-Man.
I'm only buying this until after $20.99, and then I'm probably going to be dropping it.
$20.99.
Yes.
Oh, you mean I thought you meant the price. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant.
So Phil Urich was found out. Spider-Man and tracks him down to the Daily Bugle, and of course Phil reveals that Spider-Man's right. We still have Carly and Wrath on the case, trying to figure out if it is the real Spider-Man and what's going on with him, and if it's somebody else possibly. And yeah, so they're in the background basically. They're a background 2 pages, trying to figure out what's up with Spider-Man and if there's something wrong, which of course there is, and I'm surprised only Carly's doing it and not Mary Jane. But the rest of the book is Spidey versus Phil Urich, aka Hobgoblin. He gets arrested and then busted out by the Green Goblin, and as the cover shows, Hobgoblin is dead by the end of this issue.
Oh, wow.
But there is a rise of a new Goblin, which I am not spoiling in this issue. I'm sure that we'll be seeing it very soon in whatever upcoming story arc Dan Slott is planning in Superior Spider-Man. Okay issue. I will be honest though, the way Phil Urich was handled, Hobgoblin was handled, really good. Green Goblin is not happy about Spider-Man turning over the "I know your secret identity, so I'm going to show the whole world" card. But I think Green Goblin kind of is figuring out that it's not really Spider-Man, and not Peter Parker Spider-Man anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see how Green Goblin interacts with this new Spider-Man when he figures out who, if he figures out who Spider-Man is at the moment. And now we're in your book.
Alright, the end of X Factor, part 5 of 6 of X Factor, issue number 261. Only one more part left until this awesome comic series that I'd love to read.
Awesome. I wouldn't go too far now.
Yeah. So there's 4 people left, as seen on the roster. It first shows Darwin. There's more than one person that's going to appear in this issue because Monet's on the cover. And he's just trying to find the Hela Queen. I like how he does the pun of the Man of Steel. I can't turn into the Man of Steel and stuff like that. So, yeah, so he's just talking about finding her, and then in comes Monet. And the artwork's fantastic, by the way. And they have a little conversation, like saying, you know, how are you still alive? And she tells him how Guido saved her. And in comes the Queen.
Hello.
Who Darwin is looking for. So there's dialogue between both of them, and here's a complete shocker actually. Darwin says that he loves Monet, and always has, which I found to be very creaky. I mean, at first she refuses his offer, but then I could tell that's a yes. The Queen shows up in the end, and Darwin says that he's happy the way he is, and he wouldn't change a thing because he was possessed. And the reason why I wanted to find her was because he wanted to change, back to normal. So that's 2 down, and 2 left to go. It was very interesting, as well as the artwork, as always, but I just really hate to see this series go, because, you know, maybe they'll come back, who knows, but...
In Wave 2 next year, probably.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it, and I recommend you guys to get this.
Maybe they'll call the series the X Factor instead of just X Factor.
Yeah.
Next, a series that was announced that is going to be ending in October, which I'm very upset about. Venom, issue number 39. Venom is ending with the next story arc, which is basically introducing a new character whom we were introduced to or made her first appearance at the end of last issue, Mania. Basically, to protect Andy, Flash Thompson extended his symbiote to her. However, instead of protecting her, the symbiote created a new symbiote. And Flash tries to take it back after Andy and him fight Jack-O-Lantern. It doesn't work. And Andy actually warns him, if you try it again, well, she just warns him not to try it again. Yeah, don't try it again, ever. So, she's on a vendetta against Jack-O-Lantern now because Jack-O-Lantern killed her father. And Flash is after Jack-O-Lantern, obviously, to put him back in jail. But he doesn't want Andy to kill him either. And in the end, basically, Andy's about to kill him. And he says if she does it, she's alone. He won't help her. And that's that. He's like, I can take care of you. I'll look out for you. We'll figure stuff out. But if you do this, we're done. And in the end, she ends up letting him go. It's not even Jack-O-Lantern anyway. What do I mean? Read the book. It's really awesome. And he ends up moving back to her aunt's house for a bit because her father is dead because of Jack-O-Lantern. And Flash is still kind of trying to figure out how his symbiote spawned another symbiote, and he knows who to talk to, but that person's not talking yet. I'm thinking he's talking of the symbiote.
Yeah.
Next issue goes into the Mania story arc, I believe, because it says next and it has the cover with him in Mania.
Yeah, I saw that right there.
So we're going to be introduced to a new character. What's going to happen to the Venom series after October? It is Marvel Now after all, and this series was going on before Marvel Now. 2-to-1, we'll get a new Venom series after Marvel Now. However, it'll be after the story arc in Superior Spider-Man, which is another reason why I might be reading Superior Spider-Man again, is because Venom is making his return to New York in Superior Spider-Man in November, which is why Venom is ending in October, which then leads into Superior Spider-Man in November. If you still want to read about Flash Thompson, you can in Secret Avengers, which I believe was what was mentioned in an interview. I don't know why the Venom series is going really good. I would say keep the series, but Marvel doesn't want to, so Venom will be ending in
I don't know why they're getting rid
months.
of so many titles. I mean,
Listen to me. They're getting rid of X Factor, they're getting rid of Venom, and there's going to be a Wave 2 of Marvel Now books. And the Wave 2 of Marvel Now books, they got rid of a few, and they're going to gain a lot. Trust me, I know how they're working. Okay. And finally, this week from Marvel, Daredevil, issue number 30. Silver Surfer shows up. It turns out that the person in his office was, I forgot her name completely, I don't know why, skipped my mind for the moment.
Heather?
No.
It says that.
Was it Heather? No, I know he was interviewing somebody from... No! Kristen McDuff...
Duffel. Oh, I see names everywhere.
She's taking over for Foggy while he's gone. An alien shows up in this is more of a filler issue, it feels like, in Matt's office, and he's explaining how he seeks audience with the Avengers for Asylum, and he butters up Matt for a bit, and then enters Silver Surfer.
That's awesome.
Who then tries to zap the alien. I can't pronounce the name. It looks like Roach, but I'm not going to
Silver Surfer's been appearing in a lot of Marvel comics.
He has.
Actually.
And it turns out Silver Surfer accidentally hurts somebody in the process of trying to shoot Roach, or however you pronounce it. So Matt throws him out a window and does a quick change into Daredevil, which I actually liked that panel. That was a very nice panel.
Oh, yeah.
And then after Daredevil and Matt get away from the alien, Silver Surfer explains this is an alien who tries to cause chaos, lower security, and then basically it's a bad alien. And I love this splash page, by the way. Matt Murdock gets control of Silver Surfer's board. So basically Daredevil teams up with Silver Surfer to catch and incarcerate the alien, which they do by the end of the issue. I won't say how. But the alien does give Matt a very deep message by the end of this book. And that's... you can see this is definitely going to lead into issues in his personal life in the following or the upcoming issues of Daredevil. This is a really great book. The artwork was spectacular. And by the way, if you noticed in the back here, the ink is still running. Marvel, you're doing such amazing work with your comic books. I mean, wow. The ink is it's so good that it stays on its pages perfectly. I know for a fact it's not me anymore because I've seen other reviewers complaining about the exact same thing. Marvel is very cheap with their covers, and their books, ironically, are more expensive than DC still.
Wow.
Even though this is a $2.99 book, the $3.99 books are the exact same covers. So you know what? You guys either need a new printing press or you need a new make for your covers, and don't bullshit me that if we change the covers we're gonna have to up the price again, because DC's cheaper than you and their covers I never have a problem with the ink.
You're gonna guess what I'm gonna say, right?
What?
Comic gloves. They're gonna make it. I know it. Somebody's gonna make comic gloves. Just.
There was also a lot of dialogue in this issue that I left out, but it was really good. I highly recommend you guys check out Daredevil issue number 30. It was a really good issue. and the best of the week from Marvel. My pick of the week from Marvel. Not my pick of the full week, but from Marvel, definitely the pick of the week. And with that, we are going to take our commercial break. We'll then come back and we'll go through DC Comics, which has a #1 and 2 continuations of 2 really awesome stories. So stick around. We will be right back after this commercial break. Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review, and we are finishing this review actually with DC Comics, but we are starting with a digital first book for Batman Beyond Universe, issue #1, which is basically the continuation of Batman Beyond Unlimited. They rehashed the title, redid it completely. It works better this way because it mostly is a Beyond universe. So, it does, however, have ramifications from the last story arc from Batman Beyond. Dick Grayson is now leading Batman, or he's the voice in Batman's ears instead of Bruce Wayne. There was a falling out, apparently, with Terry and Bruce Wayne, so now he is working with Dick. However, Terry is neglecting his schoolwork. He isn't talking to his now ex-girlfriend anymore. He doesn't even want to deal with anything except being Batman. And even Dick saying to him, you know, did you do your midterm? And he actually forgot that he actually had a midterm. And then the mayor also, the main point of the story is the mayor ends up dying from a heart attack. And now it's up to Batman to find out who did it. And it turns out it's a new supervillain that they've never seen before. And the end of the story is the inmates break out. We then go into the Justice League Beyond story where Superman now gets a supercharge. Apparently something fell into the sun and altered the solar energy, and now Superman's powers are on overdrive. And he's trying to figure out a way to cope with the powers or contain the powers a bit, and nothing seems to be working. And by the end of the story arc, it seems he's more of a danger to the team than an asset. So he ends up leaving the Justice League for a while. He then ends up becoming a recluse in the Fortress of Solitude for a bit, but then we get a flashback to him and Lois. And Lois says, no matter what, always remember the world needs a Superman that understands it. So, until he can figure out what's going on, he basically shuts down his superpowers in his body and becomes a normal human being. So he can go back to being Cal Kent again, basically firefighter. So, no more Superman. He does not have his powers any longer. And the end of the issue, a powerless Superman is in a very precarious situation in a fire. So it's going to be interesting to see how Superman gets out of this. Good to see that the main focus, even though it's a Justice League Beyond story, still focuses on Superman. I'm really loving Superman Beyond. I enjoy reading that a little bit more than Batman Beyond, which is sad because this is a Batman Beyond book. But I'm really finding it more interesting to read about Superman. Maybe they should make just a Beyond Universe comic book instead of Batman Beyond, but that's just my opinion. A really good read if you're a fan of the Batman Beyond series, if you're a fan of reading Superman Beyond, this is definitely the book for you. You can read this digitally first if you like, but if not, you can wait till the next month, which is what I do, and pay $3.99 and you get the paper copy. Animal Man issue 23. Brother Blood now has Buddy Baker's blood, and now the ability to go into, I want to get the right one, I think I missed the page already, the red, because he was able to reconnect with the red through Buddy Baker's blood, It turns out that he was supposed to be the avatar for the Red, but they ended up choosing Maxine and Buddy instead. Maxine's still looking for her brother. Brother Blood, when he breaks into the Red, it ends up hurting Animal Man and Maxine. We don't know how yet. Maxine is trapped in the Red. Animal Man is trapped on Earth. And Ellen is left wondering what the hell is going on because Maxine is now missing. And it turns out Brother Blood has way more power than he should. Why? I'm going to have to leave that out until the next issue. Which is sad because that means you guys got to wait 2 months instead of 1. But we'll probably talk about it actually. I'll probably talk about it in the annual or the Brother Blood issue. I believe there was one. No, in 2 months. Who will rule the Red? Yeah, no, we won't get Brother Blood after all. I thought Brother Blood was one of the Villains Month covers. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I'll say.
Very surprised. I could have sworn I saw Brother Blood. Okay. Anyway, we'll find out in 2 months about Animal Man's story arc. However, Brother Blood wants to be the all-out avatar of the Red. And Brother Blood being the avatar of the Red is equivalent to Arcane being the avatar of the Rot. Basically, he wants the Red to dominate everything. And we all know no one element, red, rot, or green, should dominate any. There should be an even balance because the Rot, we all saw what happened in Rot World. Could you imagine a Red World? Next up, and it rejuvenated my interest in the Batman and series, Batman and Nightwing, issue 23. And as I've always said, Nightwing is the only one that knows how Bruce works, that knows how Batman works, and can get into Batman and, you know, get him, you know, out of whatever he's in and understand Bruce 100%. So Bruce is in this machine where he's trying to simulate what happened to Damian and try to figure out and prove to himself that there was a way for him to have saved Damian. And Alfred tries to bring Dick in to convince Bruce to shut the machine down because he's been doing it for 3 days straight. And instead of taking him out of the machine, Dick goes into the machine with Bruce. And they go through the simulation. And first, of course, Batman and Nightwing end up stopping, I forgot what his name was, but they basically stop Damian's death, and then when Damian's about to be killed again, it's actually Nightwing who saves Damian in the end. And basically it was really powerful. And Dick is trying to explain to Bruce that none of this would have happened without there being a Batman. He's like, being Batman took Damian away. And then Nightwing said, you have to go out each and every night to be Batman because he wants basically Bruce to turn his loss into something better, like when his parents died. Right, like when his parents died, he became Batman. Now Damian's dead, become a better Batman. And Dick it's amazing the chemistry between Dick and Bruce. They are the perfect of all time, of all time.
Yeah.
It was a little fly. See, little fly, dead little fly. There you go. Ew. It's still on the book. Don't worry, you pretty little head. But the Dick and Bruce chemistry is the best Batman and Robin chemistry of all the Batman and Robins out there. Tim was good, Damian was good, but Dick just knows Bruce perfectly. And then we find out about Alfred, and that it's actually, spoiler alert here, Alfred who let Damian go. And all he had to do was stop him, but he didn't. He basically let Damian go, not knowing that Damian would die, and he blames himself even more than Bruce does. And Bruce actually goes down into the Batcave as Alfred is going through the simulation of how he could have stopped Damian.
Oh,
And
wow.
he actually says, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so selfish. I never even thought that it hits you as deep as it hits me, you know. We both lost a son. And he's like, can we please just close this thing down already? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. So finally, several issues later, Batman has coped with Damian's death. And now, in the next issue, 2 months from now, we're going into the Two-Face story arc, which I guess I will stick around for after all, because, wow, this really ended the right way, and it ended with the right character, Nightwing. Now I understand why they made Nightwing go last, because Nightwing is the only one that knows how Bruce ticks, and that's why I love the Nightwing Batman team-ups. They're just perfect.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Supergirl 23. Cyborg Superman throws everything he can at Kara to try to stop her. And it's basically most of this issue up until, I would say, yeah, this point is all about Kara fighting off her past and all of her trials that she's gone through for the past 23 issues. However, the kryptonite poisoning finally has taken its toll on her, and she is at her weakest, and forcibly Cyborg Superman takes from her what he wants. We find out another spoiler here, and I'm going to spoil a lot because we're going to find out even more during Villains Month, that Cyborg Superman's creator was Brainiac, and he doesn't know who he is. He needs the cellular restoration to figure out who he is. And there's an even bigger spoiler, which I am not going to spoil here. I'm going to wait for the Cyborg Superman story in Action Comics 23.1. But it turns out that thanks to him absorbing Kara's body, and of course they cleansed her body and everything, they took out all the kryptonite poisoning, Cyborg Superman now knows who he is. And it's not the Cyborg Superman you guys think he is from the pre-New 52. Remember, this is the New 52. So Cyborg Superman is a new character, apparently. And the shock value in those last 3 panels was wow.
I even said wow, like, just shocker.
So, I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if it'll change as, you know, after the story arc, or if it's because of the connection with or from Kara's body, her I forgot what he absorbed from her.
I think it was her memory.
No, not her memory. It's her skin. Basically, he wanted to get rid of all the cybernetic parts of him, and he did. He succeeded in getting rid of all of his cybernetic parts. It's just
So he wanted to be human.
Yeah.
So
And get all his memories back.
Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So they transferred her body to him, and she's now part of the planet. So she'll never die. She'll be part of the simulation, and he now has all of his memories back, and he's fully, you know, Kryptonian again.
Yep.
I gave a little spoiler there. He is Kryptonian. Wow. I am so glad I jumped back into Supergirl for this story arc, because this is a twist of fate. It's going to be awesome in 2 months to read more on. And then we, of course, go into the Psy War, which then goes into going back in time to Krypton. Which I'm looking forward to that, too. Green Lantern New Guardians, issue 23, was an okay issue. We got to see Relic attacking the Blue Lanterns and eminently destroy. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but he destroys the Blue Lantern and the Blue Lantern's home planet. Lots of dialogue, and basically Kyle finally is starting to realize that there is no way to stop Relic. Right. Where there's a will, there's a way. I have a feeling that we'll find out in the Lights Out story arc exactly how vulnerable Relic really is. And it turns out, we find out, here's another spoiler alert, that Blue Lanterns don't just power up Green Lantern rings anymore. They power up Indigo Tribe rings as well.
Wow, really?
Whereas it gave the Green Lantern ring 154%, it gave the Indigo part of Kyle's ring 180%. Because Kyle had to transport himself, Carol, the New Guardians, and Saint Walker away from the planet before it was destroyed by Relic. So this is more of a filler issue, or a continuation of Kyle continually trying to stop Relic. The Guardians try to stop Relic, the Blue Lanterns try to stop Relic, but it's to no avail. And it's to be continued. And I guess in the next issue we'll get to see the crossover between Green Lantern New Guardians and Green Lantern. Yes, I just did.
Oh.
Just in case I didn't, I'm going to do it again.
Because I wasn't too sure.
Still not a fan of the way they drew Kyle's mask. Oh man, I'm trying to...
It doesn't even look like a mask. It looks like...
the page where they...
Like, it looks like just the...
It's more of a...
thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Green Lantern New Guardians is a little bit a tiny step ahead of Green Lantern Green Lantern Corps, but it's not too far ahead. Like, if Green Lantern Corps really picks up, it can easily flip flop where Green Lantern Corps goes above Green Lantern New Guardians. However, I love Kyle. I like this the fact that he's a White Lantern. Maybe after this Relic series, once Lights Out finishes, we'll get to see a little bit more focus on Kyle and more of an interesting story arc, which I believe we actually will after Lights Out, because the solicitations for November and October look really interesting, so we'll see then. And we're in the home stretch.
Yeah, this one they said was real...
Trinity of Sin, Pandora, number 3. Pandora wants so badly to be able to kill the 7 deadly sins, but she can't. No matter how hard she tries, she can't even touch them. Anything she does goes right through them because they're ghosts. And throughout the issue, you get to see little pieces of Justice League Dark, which came out this week.
Yeah.
Issue number 23, where Shazam has the box, and then Frankenstein has the box. They skipped over Wonder Woman having the box, I guess. I don't know why. And Pandora finally comes to a realization about something by the end of this issue, and how to finally kill the 7, or actually interact with the 7 deadly sins to kill them. How? We don't know. It says to be continued in 2 months. It's all explained in 2 months. That's what it says. Come back here in 2 months for Kill the Curse. So basically, she figured it out. She's about to explain it, and the book ends. So we don't get the explanation until issue 4 in 2 months. God, I love Villains Month. This was an awesome issue. I'm really glad I decided. I wasn't going to get Pandora. I was really not even thinking about touching Pandora. I'm really glad I changed my mind and decided to read issue 1 of this series. It's a really good series. You should be reading this too. It's interesting.
Yeah, they said about that.
I would highly recommend you guys check this series out. Really good. Especially because she's the reason why the DC Universe is the way it is right now.
Well, with the box and all that other stuff.
Superman Unchained, issue number 3. Is it Eradicator? No, I actually feel I was very wrong. And I now feel that we're not going to find out who, we find out the name of the character, Wrath, is. We're not going to find out who Wrath is until Scott Snyder is ready to tell us who Wrath is. Because at the end of this issue, I'm predicting it's one of 2 other people, and definitely not the Eradicator at all. Artwork by Jim Lee is amazing. Of course, though, the one thing that Scott Snyder is infamous for is his dialogue is plentiful. And Sam Lane, just like he said he's going to break down Superman, Scott Snyder, and then build him back up. Sam Lane is the Joker to Superman's Batman. Sam Lane hates Superman, not because he's a superhero, but because all he'll do is... he won't kill, basically. He'll only do what he can to help people but he won't make the tough, painful decisions. And he thinks it's all because Superman just wants attention and, you know,
and he thinks
he's afraid of doing
making
the tough decisions, so he's a coward because he won't make the tough decisions. We also find out a little bit about Wrath, how he came to Earth, and how the facility he's at was built for him, and then all the things that he had saved throughout the years, the 75 years he's on Earth, etc., etc. So basically a lot has been divulged to Superman. I hate Sam Lane by the end of this. Lois Lane survives her encounter with Ascension, and Lex Luthor also is in Metropolis looking for somebody.
Yeah.
But Lois Lane was actually saved from Ascension by the man who has the crystal that was found in the epilogue at issue 1. There is a attack in Tokyo, which Superman and Wrath find out about in Wrath's base, and they both show up. Wrath is stronger than Superman and faster and better in every single way because he's absorbed a lot more solar power or solar light from the sun than Superman has because he's older. And the last panel leaves me believing it's one of two other characters. And his closing remarks, I will say this, are, it's a shame, really, that soon I'm going to have to kill you.
I could think of one.
I have two characters in mind of who I believe Wrath could be, but once again, this is Scott Snyder, and he's going to keep us guessing until he's ready to reveal who it is. And there was an interview, and he said, nobody's going to know until I reveal it, and he's right. I don't know who it is, but it's definitely not the Eradicator anymore. I don't think, anyway. Might be, might not be, but wow, this is a really good issue, but it was so heavy in dialogue. Oh my god. It was so much reading. And like I said, Scott Snyder is infamous for his writing, but man, Jim Lee's artwork pulled this book through. This is a spectacular book, and it definitely feels a lot like Superman. And I left out a lot because I want you guys to read this. This is definitely the book you guys should be reading if you need any book that is Superman. Superman Unchained is the best title out there right now, with Action Comics Superman following directly behind it in a very strong second place. And then in third place is Superboy and Supergirl, which are another two very strong tie-ins to Superman. And right before we start this, maybe we'll, because we only have a couple of minutes left, we'll switch the camera out. So this way we have enough time to talk. So just give us 1 second, and we will continue. Alright, we have 14 minutes left on the camera. More than enough time for us to discuss Justice League Dark issue number 23, which is your book technically.
Yes.
And it continues the story of Trinity War. It's the Pendulum issue.
Alright, so basically it starts off where Wonder Woman has Pandora's box, as you can see from here, with the fantastic artwork.
Yeah, Jeff Lemire's writing and the artwork for this book are really awesome.
Yeah. And in came in Shazam with very interesting
yeah, he actually says Shazam, and it causes a ripple through the box, which opens up all the universes. Earth 2, the dimension where Deadman and Batman are, Amethyst dimension,
Swamp Thing,
Demonized dimension, Swamp Thing, Earth 2, I believe I mentioned that, and I Vampire, and it hurts Animal Man as well. Yeah. So it definitely reaches out to the far reaches of the DCU.
And things don't look so good. But then we go into the House of Mystery, where Deadman's like saying that he could feel everyone's powers because there was a bit of a major disturbance in the magical plans, and he is actually
Planes.
Yeah, and he's actually Madam Xanadu, who's controlling Deadman. Then we go to August, where Green Arrow is questioning Waller, saying that he thinks that she set the whole thing up to frame Superman, and you know she really wasn't. So she said we need to look for survivors, and Superman's looking like really.
Superman's really bad at this point.
He is out of it. and he agrees to look for the survivors as well. Then we go to fight scene, and here's where it goes from one to another. Frankenstein fights Shazam, and then Frankenstein gets possession of Pandora's box. So basically it's like hot potato with Pandora's box. And Pandora is gonna, well, Zatanna is going to try to protect Stargirl and telling everyone to get away from the box. And there's just a whole big dialogue and fight scene, but when John Constantine shows up, it has no effect at all.
Because he's using magic.
Right. So they find Madame Xanadu, and in the end, oh boy, the ending is really something else. And
did we find out who the mole was in this issue? I don't believe we did.
No, we didn't.
Next issue we'll find out.
But if you want to check out what happened in the end, you can check out the in-depth comic review.
I could have sworn that they made a mention of who it was, or maybe that's just me. I'm tired. It's late.
Yeah, along with X Factor, this was my
book of the week.
Book of the week for me.
These two are tied for book of the week: Superman Unchained 3 and Justice League Dark issue 23. In my opinion, both of these books are tied.
Mine is Justice League and Justice League Dark and X Factor.
So one more issue until Forever Evil.
And the second poster of 2 or 3 of the mural thing. Can't wait to see what Justice League
I'm really loving this series, and I'm really highly recommending you guys check out Trinity War. This is an event done the right way. It's not in a special book. It's in 3 books, and the 3 books are connected, and that's it. There are tie-ins, but you don't need them. It's not a special like Trinity War #1, Trinity War #2, and then you have to buy Justice League Dark, Teen Titans, Justice League of America, Pandora, this, that, and the other thing. This is a contained event, and it is done masterfully. The writing on this is really good. Jeff Lemire did an amazing job with Justice League Dark, and Jeff Johns has been doing an awesome job with Justice League of America and Justice League. Really looking forward to where they're going with Forever Evil. However, when Forever Evil and all this settles, Justice League of America, your book, is changing to Justice League of Canada.
What?
Yeah. It was announced this week.
Justice League of Canada?
JLC.
Okay. Does that affect Justice League Dark?
No.
Just Justice League of America?
Right.
With Canada?
Right.
Oh boy. Next thing they'll have Justice League of Egypt or Justice League of
don't give me any ideas yet.
Well, they might.
5 out of 5.
They might.
Highly recommend you guys check this out. Highly recommend you guys set this up. DC is setting up for an amazing Villains Month, which then leads into the Forever Evil story arc, and I can't wait to see the next issue. I'm eager. And the next issue is in 200, which is the next episode. We are officially done with this episode. So the next time we sit here to do a review, it is going to be our 200 comic review. Not yet.
Not yet. The next episode. I just can't accept it. Just like a Canada. I have nothing against Canada. It's just the title. It sounds weird.
I know, it doesn't roll off the tongue like Justice League of America. But then again,
there better be Canadian bacon in that comic book, because I love Canadian bacon. Oh yeah, this is where I go behind the camera. So yeah, I'll see you later, guys. In 200. Looking forward to it.
So 200 is coming, and it's going to be a huge extravaganza of awesomeness. Justice League Dark #23.
Book of the week.
Book of the week for me too, as well as Superman Unchained #3. Trinity of Sin Pandora #3. Awesome book. Another highly recommended book from me. Green Lantern New Guardians issue 23. It was an okay book. I leave it up to you. Supergirl 23 was amazing. Check this issue out. You guys will not regret it. Batman and Nightwing 23. Nightwing just knows Batman. The chemistry is there, and it's awesome, and I would highly recommend you check this out. Animal Man 23 was another good book this week. It was okay. I would say I'll leave it up to you guys. Batman Beyond Universe, I was about to say Unlimited, #1. Really good story. If you like Batman Beyond or the Beyond Universe, you'll love this book. Daredevil, issue #30 was awesome. Highly recommend you guys check it out. The book of the best book from Marvel this week. Venom issue 39 was pretty good. I leave it up to you guys. X Factor #261.
Another book of the week, an excellent issue. Can't see this issue go soon as next part.
Superior Spider-Man issue 16 was pretty good. Nova issue 7 felt more like a filler and a prelude to what's to come in Nova, but it was still a nice read. The Ultimates Disassembled number 29, pretty good. I would definitely recommend you guys check it out. The Ultimate Universe is going to be ending soon anyway. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Villains Micro Series Karai issue number 5, really awesome. Definitely check that out. The Turtles are an amazing series. And Sonic Universe issue 55.
Good issue. I'll be picking up the next one, see what's gonna be more pirate adventures in store for Sonic's friends.
Little disclaimer. This week, due to the fact that I'm going to be planning heavily for 200, you guys will probably not see me on Dark Avenger Inc. I am taking a week off. I still have book reviews from last week's comics that I have to post. So those will be going up on Dark Avenger Inc. But any books from this week, I will probably be forsaking reviewing them due to the fact that I really do need to set up for 200 and plan out what I'm going to be doing for 200 and any major announcements or things I would like to try out or do for my channel or set up, etc. So I probably will be absent from Dark Avenger Inc. this coming week, minus the old comic reviews that I have to do. I might do a versus actually in from this week's pod, but that's about it. Also, the live show I still will be on, and it will still be this Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I actually have 2 weeks off from work now, so I'll be planning out a lot of stuff, so you'll be seeing a lot of stuff return. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for staying here with us through 199. Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com, your #1 source for comic book news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. We play that commercial in between each and every episode of Dark Avenger. The Dark Avenger Comic Book review. Hopefully we'll have more commercials. Maybe that's one thing we'll have for 200. Yeah, for episode 200. So until next time, guys, keep reading, keep collecting. If you haven't already subscribed to Dark Avenger Inc., do subscribe to Dark Avenger Inc. We try to give you guys 110% of ourselves. Awesome group channel. Love watching our other members work. Jay is now working on Dark Avenger Inc. as well. .com is coming as soon as humanly possible. We are working through lots of trials and tribulations getting this website up. Till then, guys, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see you guys in episode 200. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.